me get the recording started.
All right.
All righty. Good evening. Let's just start with a quick word of prayer, and then we'll jump in. Dear God, thank you so much for everybody here, and we just ask that you be with us tonight as we meet, and just be with us and be with the kids as they're preparing. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
All righty. So we are in high gear for the robotics season. Like I say, we just finished our second FLL qualifying tournament. So getting ready for a bunch more of those. So a couple things want to just touch on a couple things to prepare. We'll be doing some more conference calls as we go forward. But just as teams are getting ready, if I find it nice to just review a few things with everybody and do that. So one thing I want to mention right up front, just for your calendars, I know this is calendar time of year. So next year, we're going to be moving the date of the first Tech Challenge tournament. There's two reasons for that. One reason is that it's getting to be a bit much to handle all at the same time in one gym, along with the first LEGO League Championship. But secondly, we have some contractual obligations with First that make it go earlier. So it will be the second Sunday in April is when we're moving it to, and we'll get emails out on that as well. It's posted on the Adventist Robotics calendar. If you go to adventistrobotics.net/calendar, you'll see the dates there as we're moving forward. So yeah, just be aware of that, that date is changing. For this season, obviously, everything's still staying the same, but next season it will be the second Sunday in April, and that will kind of be that way going forward. So we have to be before the first World Championship, which is that following week. So, all right. So just a couple things. Let me go ahead and switch here, and I'm going to share my screen and a couple things with this. Give me just a sec. All right, you are probably familiar with this website, our Adventist Robotics website. So a couple things that we just want to mention. If you haven't yet registered for the tournament, please make sure you come here and go to FTC tournament event registration, and this will take you to our Ticket Spice registration system, and this is where you can pay for your registration fee and get registered. So the sooner we get registered, it helps us planning. We're going to have to buy trophies and medals and all those things that we do to get ready for the tournament. So that's coming up. Another page that will be handy, and we will send this out in email, and I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat here for you as well. This is not a publicly linked page, but this is the page that will have information for you about the tournament itself. So we use this both for our FL qualifying tournament, so you'll see things referenced there as well. But what this means, we just got some of these things finalized. If you're looking to get reservations for lodging in the dorms, this is the time to go ahead and do that. There's information down here on who to contact for that. There is also meal purchasing, so you can go ahead and purchase your meals whenever you're ready for the weekend. The deadline is Monday, May 1 for meal ordering for that. And this, again, will take you to Ticket Spice here, and I'll make this a little bit prettier. I'll see if I can get a picture in here, but just to make it look cool. But here's where you can say, all right, so we will have meals available for Friday supper through Sunday lunch, and you can just come here and order however many you want for your team, and then submit your payment online here, and that will allow you to do that. So all of that happens here. And you can order all your meals you need for the weekend in one place. Last time we were trying to take money the day of the tournament and all that, and it just got to be a little too complicated. So we will be doing that, and so just kind of, anyway, something to check out. When you're ready to order your meals, you can do that. When you're ready to get your lodging, you can go ahead and get your lodging taken care of as well. So let's see here. On this page, there's, of course, the dorm. You don't have to stay in the dorms. There's Airbnbs in the area. There's hotels in the area. This link here will take you to basically it's Google Maps that's searching for hotels in the area. Well, It's supposed to show us motels in the area anyway. I guess it's loading a little slow. But that's the area here. And yeah, it does actually show motels. So there's 2 motels out on this side of campus. And then if you come over to the I-4 interchange area, there's quite a few hotels out on this side. So whatever works for you. The dormitories, while they're available, they do not include bedding. So that's the one thing you want to be aware of if you're planning for that. So and there are no meals or cooking allowed in the dormitory. So whatever works for you, take a look at that. And I would certainly encourage you to get any reservations, whether it's hotel or the dorm, get that earlier than later, just to get that taken care of for you. So all righty. So that is that. There is some information here, of course, on things to do in the area. There's many different things you can take advantage of in the Orlando area. We, for as far as our weekend activities go, we will be doing, as we did last year, if you came, we did a Saturday night Vespers. And then we will do inspections Saturday night after Vespers. We'll start with a robot and field inspection Saturday night for the FTC team. But we are not planning a whole weekend for you because we find that a lot of teams, when they come into the area, they have different things they want to do. There's quite a few churches in the area, everything from conservative to progressive. And you can choose the style of worship you like. Their Forest Lake Church, of course, is right next door, available. We know some teams like to go to beaches or parks and have their own service together and let it be a bonding time. Again, that's up to you and how you want to handle that. But we will do a combined Vespers for Saturday night, and then we'll move right into the inspections for robot inspection then. All right. Any questions on that?
Hey, Mel.
Yeah.
Hey, Mel. So we have a question about the registration. One of the things, correct me, Penny, if I say this incorrectly, we need a PO because the school, the academy, has funding from a grant, and so
Yeah.
they need a PO done in a certain way. So we're waiting on that from you. I think my wife sent that to you. So we can get that back from you as soon as possible. We'll get the registration to be complete.
So what we did last year is and I thought she was going to do that this year. She just made the PO for us because every time we did it several times, and every time we made the purchase order, it wasn't quite done right. I'm glad to do that for you. Generally, we don't, but we know that because of your funding source, that's important. If you need me to do that, let me know. But if you want to make a purchase order on our behalf, or make up something just on a generic template, because we really don't have POs. It's not like we have general. When I make a PO, I create one. So our organization, even Florida Conference, doesn't really do POs in that way. So we can generate one for you, but just let us know if you want to generate one. We can work with you on that. So,
hey Mel, it's me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I have the one from last year.
Yeah.
So it can be sent to made out to Florida Conference the way it was last year. And it'll go to robotics.
Correct. Yeah. If you just want to edit that one and change it for this year, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. I think I may have missed you saying go ahead and do it that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought I had, and I have a lot of things going on. I apologize if I miscommunicated on that.
That's okay.
We got
Thank
it, Mel.
you.
Thanks.
Yeah, but just I think we found it worked better when you just made it yourself, because there's a lot of, they have to have it just the right way. You got to hold your mouth right for them.
That's right.
So and just whatever works there, we're glad to help and cooperate to help make that happen. So I think you can go ahead, and I can't remember if there's a give me just a sec here. Where was it? It wasn't there here. Okay, so so there is an offline option that you can use here to go ahead and register, and then we'll match that PO. If you haven't done that already, go ahead and do that, and then when the check comes in, we'll match that with it and mark it as paid.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah.
Good deal. Thank you.
All right, let me just change my screen sharing here again. And whoop. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Here we go. All right, game manual. Let's talk a couple things on the game manual, a couple of key things to look at as we're getting started and getting ready for the tournament. So as you know, there are two parts of the game manual. There's part 1 and part 2. If you need to find it, search. I just searched FTC game manual and came up, the first link was to the page where this was. If you're not familiar with it, there is another website. There's actually a new website. Oh my, what is that? FTC. And I think we've talked about this in the before. I'll have to look that up, but there is a new FTC website that has all things FTC related to it, and I had forgotten about it. And I'm going to see if I can grab it really quick. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'll have to look for it. There's a brand new FTC docs. So it is, let's see here. Alrighty, I will put this in the chat here for you. It's ftc-docs.firstinspires.org. But this is a great website for all kinds of resources related to First Tech Challenge. One of the challenges with First Tech Challenge in the past is that there's so much information in so many different places. So if you haven't seen this, I think we talked about it in the kickoff call at the beginning of the season in what was that, September, whenever that was, the kickoff. But this is just another great resource. So go ahead and click on that and we'll jump to that again later on. But in the meantime, there are two parts to the game manual, part 1 and part 2. Make sure you have the latest version of it. So if you come down here, you will see that the latest version is this has 1.2, which was updated. This is of part 1, which was updated October 18. So, and it will tell you what is changed. So if you have an older version, you can look at this section here and say, okay, so what really changed between the two? What is it I really need to pay attention to? So I'm not trying to read the entire document and find out what has changed in there. So we're going to jump through just a couple things in here with it. So there's a lot of definitions at the beginning. We are doing a traditional event here in the United States. So we are not doing qualifying tournaments. We're just doing a championship tournament. Eventually we will move probably to a qualifying tournament system. But that's as we grow and have enough space for regional tournaments. But for right now, we're doing just one championship tournament. For the next several years, we expect that way. So a lot of definitions, do pay attention to that and what the tournament looks like. So wireless communication is very important. I know we had some challenges last year. We're already working to mitigate some of those and doing some of our communication differently. So we will have hotspots off, as you know, as you get a lot of things like that in there. It's important to do it because the communication between the robot controller and the driver station is over Wi-Fi. So do pay attention to things in here about safety. So there's footwear, safety glasses. So these rules in here are really important when it comes to safety, when it comes to that. So no audio. Shouldn't be wearing audio bands, things in your ears, anything like that with it, but also footwear and safety glasses. And it's something you want to get your kids in the habit of. Because all day they're going to have to wear their safety glasses. The one thing I always caution is do spend a little extra money on the safety glasses. Don't get the cheapest ones possible. Because the cheap ones are okay if you wear them for an hour or so, but if you wear them all day, the optics aren't quite as good. and they can just be tiring to wear all day long. And that's what the kids will kind of need to be doing, and everybody, because if you're in the pit area, you will need to be wearing safety glasses and have the proper footwear in order to be in there. So keep that in mind as you're getting ready. So if you, and if you have you might talk to, if you came last year, you might talk to your kids about the safety glasses you have and how comfortable were they, and just kind of start some strategy ahead of time to say, all right, maybe rather than the cheapest stuff you can get from Lowe's, maybe there's something just a step, a few steps up higher. They're still not super expensive, but if you're wearing them all day, that makes a difference. So competition day outline. So this is basically the outline of the day right here. So we will have team check-in, and we'll start that Saturday night and also Sunday morning. While we do it Saturday night, Sunday is the day of the tournament. We want to get as many inspections, try to get everybody through inspections Saturday night, because the one thing that'll slow the tournament down is inspections. So because we do want, everybody has to pass inspection in order to participate. But if you've traveled across the country, we don't want to tell you, shucks, you can't play. So we will do everything we can to get you through inspection. But that being said, when we get to the inspection area, please come prepared, because that makes the day go smoother for you and helps us help you better. So we'll do robot and field inspection. This will be Saturday night. And actually, let me just go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. Robot and field inspection will be Saturday night. There will be judges interviews. That'll take place Sunday morning. So all the interviews and judging sessions will be on Sunday. Then usually it's about 10 or 10:30 is when we have the drivers meeting. Once everybody's through inspection and through the judge interviews, we have a drivers meeting. And then we'll have just a abbreviated opening ceremony this time, because we combine the main opening ceremony with the first LEGO League ceremony. It'll happen after lunch. And then we go into qualifying matches. And then after qualifying matches is alliance selection, elimination matches, and then a combined awards and closing ceremony with first LEGO League. So those are some of the differences there in how that's going to work. So please make sure that you take a look at that step and be ready for that. We'll get you more detailed schedules as the time comes out. It is important that you have two coaches that are screened, and that you have all of your students on the roster. So that means they need to go through the youth protection program, and we'll send out some information to you on that. I'll have to switch to another screen and show you a little bit about that too, in case you haven't done that before, but that's important. All right, so then a lot of this goes into details of that, what qualification matches are in here. So if you want to read that, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. In the qualification matches, you are randomly assigned to an alliance. Each alliance is randomly assigned, so your opponents are randomly assigned and you're randomly assigned. You will have at least 5 qualifying matches. And then based on that is when we do the alliance selection for the elimination matches. And in the alliance selection, if you qualify for the alliance selection, that's where you will be able to choose your alliance for that. All right, and this kind of goes through that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on there right now, because I really want to jump down to information on advancement, a lot more definitions. Okay, so do pay attention to the rules of what you can or cannot have on your robot. I have, as the coach, I've been caught with this. So it's really important to do pay attention to this. Take some time and go through. It's not super complicated, but there are little nuances to it. There are a couple things that you should have, and we'll have some stickers for you if you don't have it, but this little sticker that says robot moves on initialization. My recommendation for teams, just put that on your robot, whether it moves or not. So that it matches then you never have to worry about a robot inspector going, well, I think it should be there. It's simple enough to put it on there. There's also a power sticker that needs to go on there. So go ahead and get that as well. That's the power button. So make sure your power button is labeled and you have that clearly labeled for that. And we'll kind of go over that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all the nuances of this. but do please pay attention to what's legal and not legal in the parts section of it. So let me zoom back out just a little bit to scan down on through here. And we'll talk at the next one a little bit more about the process, what happens at the actual match. We'll spend a little bit more time with that as it goes forward. As far as the Rev expansion hub and control hubs, they are still in short to next to no supply. We've heard that there are some starting to come into stock. I don't know, have not confirmed that, but they have assured us that the supply chain issues that we've been experiencing this year will be resolved for next season. That's the latest news we've gotten in the last month on that, is they have that taken care of, so it won't be an issue moving forward. And you definitely want to look for expansion hubs if you don't have that already. Definitely check Rev Robotics website and see what's there, because that's the source for all of that. All right, so that being said, couple things you want to pay attention to. So right here, the next thing we want to just highlight is the awards. So this is on page 48, and this is 9.2.6. So engineering portfolio requirements for awards. So this starts talking about the different awards that are available to you. So there is an engineering portfolio that you need to submit with that. There's specifications on it. Definitely take a look at that. This deals specifically with what should be in the engineering portfolio for each award. So please take a look at that. But then it also will go into each award specifically. So here we're into each one of the awards starting here. So the Inspire Award is the overall award. So do pay attention, because these are the criteria to be able to win that award. So take a little bit of time with your team if you haven't done so. And I know maybe you have been through it before and this isn't your first year, but it's really important even every year to take a little bit of time and go through each one of the awards and say, all right, what are we doing to prepare for this award? Because if you want to get the Champions Award, you want to be good in all the different areas, not just in one particular area. But that being said, sometimes teams say, hey, I'm just going to focus on one award. We're not going to worry about getting every single award, but we're going to be really, really, really good at this one award. We're going to have fun with the robot and everything else, but we're going to specialize in this. Or maybe it's just one or two awards you specialize in. So definitely take a look at that. And look through those criteria, decide what you want to do. There is some overlap between the awards, so take a look at those. One of the things that overlaps, of course, with all the awards is gracious professionalism. So be aware of that. We will be doing the Promote and Compass Awards. So please make sure that if you want to submit for those, that those are submitted. We'll be giving you some guidelines on submission of that ahead of time, but you want to be starting to prepare for those two awards. So so be aware of that as you're getting started. So, and we're also going to do Dean's List. So take a look at the Dean's List. That's an individual submission. So definitely take a look at that and be ready for Dean's List submissions on those. All right. That being said, on this one, here is the key thing that we want you to know in here and start working on. I mean, there's a lot of important things, but this is something you should go ahead and print these out and go through it even this coming week or in the next week or two with your students, with your team members. Go through your inspection checklist. Because even if you may not pass, your robot may not be all ready yet, but this helps you identify, okay, so what are the things the inspectors are going to look at? What are the things we need to do? And if you're not ready and you don't have it, all right, well then put that on a punch list of things you need to get done, and assign them out to students on your team to get it taken care of for it. Some of them are very simple, and some of them are very specific. So a couple of the simple ones that can be in here that people miss is having the number on your robot in the right size and visible. That's one that's there. You need to have I believe it's a blue circle and a red square that can be Velcroed on and taken off for your alliance to indicate which your alliance. You actually need 2 of them, one for each side of your robot. Simple things you can order, that you can make them yourself. You can also order them from AndyMark. So if you want to get them, they make them out of plastic, but you can make your own. You don't have to order them from anywhere. Just make sure that they're there. Those are a couple little things that tend to be there. Looking for sharp edges. Wire management is really important. You may not be ready to spend a huge amount of time on wire management yet, but having everything neat and clean on your robot is important. Of course, the right size of wires and things like that are important. So definitely take a look at that. And if you're going to use a signal sleeve, make sure that is proper and according to the rules for that. That's that little sleeve that goes over the cone. If you're going to do the camera on that, that's part of the inspection. Then there's field inspection, and this really has to do with how the robot works and how they communicate with each other between the driver station and the robot controller. So again, take time, go through this. Maybe you're doing one week and one the next week, and kind of alternate back and forth. Okay, where are we at with each one of these? And once in a while, you might just go off your punch list, but every once in a while, go back and do a full inspection off of there, just to make sure that you've got everything ready, because it's really easy to miss something. And all of these things have to be checked as okay in order to compete. So definitely take a look at that. So those are some of the big things involved there. There's a couple other things. There is a control award. So the control award is for autonomous mode, basically, but you have to submit for the control award. If you don't submit something to the judges for the control award, you will not be considered for it. And I tell the story of 1 year where we submitted and we had our plan and we already had it ready, but like the last couple of days, we were not able to execute the autonomous, and we won 3rd place in the control award. And I think it was only because we submitted it because our robot didn't have any autonomous mode. So, but if you don't submit, you don't get anything, it's not like we could really brag and go, yeah, we won this award. Didn't we do good? But it was something it's a story we get to tell and have a laugh at, that, hey, we submitted it and we got the award because no one else at the tournament, only 2 other people at the tournament probably even submitted anything. So that's the only reason. We're sure that that's the only reason we got the award. So there's instructions here. This is something you'll print out and bring with you. So definitely you bring this to the judge interview along with your engineering portfolio. So definitely look at that. Make sure that you're specific in what you do if you want to do that control award. So it never hurts to apply, but if you don't apply, you won't even be considered if you don't turn in a submission. Almost all the other awards, general awards, you'll be considered for regardless, but this is one where you actually have to apply for. All right, so that being said, there's some other definitions in that kind of thing in there. So let me change my sharing here again and switch back to my browser. Okay, here we go.
As you are switching to that, Mel,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
For the award there, the control award, do you have to submit that in advance, or you submit it the day that we're there?
You submit it the day of. You bring it. Bring that with you to your judge interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
Submit it the day of. Yep. That's it. So this is the page I was telling you about before, the FTC docs, where everything is in here. So one thing definitely pay attention to as well is this game Q&A forum. So in the game Q&A forum is where they do updates. So definitely take a look at that. I'll just jump into here. I heard that it was a significant update recently. So definitely take a look at that and make sure that you're paying attention to that. So there's some definitions and clarifications and that kind of thing. So definitely take a look at these that are posted here in there, because that's where there are rule updates. So don't forget about that. So anyway, with that, those are the highlights that I wanted to share tonight. We will talk about other aspects of it later on. Oh, yep, that's it. First youth registration. If you Google first youth registration, the first one up here is a youth registration system. So this one here, if you, and I'll put this in the chat for you, definitely make sure that you are paying attention to that and getting your kids signed up early in there. So simple thing to do with this, if you give the parents this link and they know you're a First Tech Challenge team and that you are and your team number, and then they can get that taken care of. So, alrighty, that's all I have for you tonight. And we will let you know, we'll do another one in another month or so here. I just wanted to highlight some. We'll put this on YouTube probably tomorrow for those that may have missed it.